Hello and welcome to MISD Assessment's video-based training in preparation for the July 2016 STAAR End-of-Course. Over the next 6 minutes, we'll be addressing the main issues that you need to be aware of to coordinate your campus's July STAAR EOCs. Let's begin by looking at the schedule for the week at all campuses. You're all aware that TEA mandates English 1 on Monday, July 11th, and English 2 on Wednesday, July 13th. You could see some variation in the schedule for Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History. Now remember, you may offer makeups for any English EOC on any date after the TEA mandated test date. And you may also administer Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History on any date during the week of July 11th through 15th. So for instance, if you've got U.S. History scheduled on July 12th, but you have a student who is leaving town that day, and they request to take the EOC on Monday, July 11th, that test could be administered. English 2 is the only test that cannot be administered on Monday or Tuesday. Also, because MISD is officially closed on Fridays during the summer, we have not listed July 15th as a scheduled testing date in the district. However, because TEA allows that as the last day of the window, a campus could choose to administer a test at its discretion on that date if it's necessary. This slide addresses items your campus should be addressing now. Most of the items related to rosters, test versions, and accommodations are probably already covered, but it wouldn't hurt to check with your campus diagnostician on any late ARD changes. It's also a good idea to make sure your supplies are ready, especially getting calculators cleared, and ensuring that you've got headphones for STAAR A and STAAR L testers. And it's never too early to lock down teachers as test administrators before they have unplugged for the summer. In terms of training your test administrators, their oaths from the spring are good until December 31st. But it's always a good idea to review the importance of active monitoring with them. Because test books are minimal this time, the main secure materials that you'll be worried about are student test tickets. Remember also that you'll need to have a seating chart for every room in which testing takes place. And if you do happen to administer any paper tests, you'll also need a materials control form. Also, don't forget to include any testing accommodations, particularly extra time, on student rosters as well. Timing rules and other procedures related to testing remain the same as they were in the spring, even for online testing. English students should receive a dictionary for the entire test, and even though the online testing interface includes an on-screen calculator, algebra and biology students must have access to the appropriate physical calculator. As for instructions, test administrators will primarily focus on pages 59 through 64 of the manual to read online administration directions. And they need to include the appropriate boxed directions as well. If your campus is offering oral administration using paper tests, then your test administrators will need to use the paper administration directions, and they'll also need to read over the separate oral administration guidelines published by TEA. Those are available on Google Drive. This slide shows the procedures for the vast majority of students testing this July. All students are already registered, and they will appear in a single session or group that will be titled No Group Name Given. Please check the ETS website to ensure all students that you have on your list are actually registered in the ETS system, and notify our office if anyone is missing. You'll want to print test tickets whenever they're available and store those securely in your testing room. You'll also collect those and destroy them after testing. Please remember the additional supplies that must be made available to students and the requirement to complete a seating chart for each room. Don't forget that because STAAR A and L both include text-to-speech functions on the computer, students taking those tests will need headphones. Students taking regular STAAR online will not. You can also use the ETS website to update test attributes and score codes. This would be primarily for any students who might need to be scored an O for some reason, and also for students with accommodations, say for instance extra time or individualized structured reminders. If your campus has students who require regular STAAR with oral administration, and your campus chooses to administer the test on paper, we're trying to make the process of obtaining and returning materials as easy as possible. No materials will be delivered from the warehouse to your campus, so you won't have to worry about being there to receive several boxes or return several boxes. If you need test books, You may obtain those along with pre-coded and or blank answer documents and header sheets directly from our office. If you do paper testing, be sure to add a materials control form to your testing documentation. After testing is finished, you double-check all your answer documents, make sure they're coded properly, you complete the appropriate header sheets, and you'll return everything, scorable answer documents, header sheets, and test booklets that you used, back to our office. We will box and ship scorables and non-scorables so that all the paper materials primarily reside at our office. That should reduce the need for you to spend much time, if any, in your testing room in July. If you haven't already, you will likely receive questions about results. So TEA and ETS indicate that results from the July testing should be available by August 19th, so students will know how they did by the time school begins again on August 22nd. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. Our summer hours are on screen. You can also email us instead if you prefer. Thanks for watching. Have a great summer.